Batman Last Night on Earth Book 2 sees Batman confront Joe Chill in his apartment, demanding to know about the dead boy in Crime Alley. Batman knows the boy is Joe's, but he never had a son. Joe knows Batman is Bruce Wayne and knows everything about him as the fire from the stove Batman knocked Joe into builds. Batman presses him for answers, but Joe says he already knows the answers and that all these years later, Bruce still thinks that this was all over a pair of pearls, and he's done keeping secrets since this will be the last case Batman solves. Since it's not Joe Chill's house that's burning down that night, it's Batman's. Waking up from his dream in the future, Bruce finds Joker's head still talking about if he's Robin. Suddenly a red tornado cloud bears down on them, killing their horse by aging it as Joker reveals it to be a Speed Force storm. Batman makes a dash for a cave and he witnesses Barry Allen, Jay Garrick and Wally West and many more are all gruesomely tied together inside the storm, calling out for Bruce to help them, but Bruce knows he can't help them and it kills him. Moving on, Batman and Joker push south, heading to the boiling oceans and soon to Fort Waller, a place powered and protected by Captain Atom. The fort is home to the greatest minds alive, who combat Luthor and try and swing the tide to good again. Joker tells Batman about what happened and how alarms blazed as the soldiers all mobilized below them, fighting off the Animal Men and the parliaments of Red and Green battle one another until one was pillaged and destroyed, leaving his avatar mindless. Batman glides through the red skies, wondering if they can help as they pass over what was once Swamp Thing, now an angry animalistic creature that attacks the soldiers. In Gotham, Alfred walks the streets and he turns off into an alleyway, and as he's about to turn off the giant blue bat tower over the city, Scarecrow, now carried around by Bane, confronts him. Scarecrow knows Alfred did something bad and he couldn't just keep his head down. Alfred knows Omega sent the duo, as Scarecrow says that Omega will help Alfred like how he helped Bane and him. Alfred uses the shotgun that he had hidden in his coat to shoot at the villains, but it does little to stop Bane as Scarecrow manages to stab him with his fear toxin needles. Soon Omega arrives, having something to tell Alfred. He tells Alfred that he did it and he was the one who convinced the Waynes not to go see Zorro, and he saved them. The drug-addled Alfred can now see them in his mind, falling asleep knowing that the Waynes are all safe. Batman and Joker's journey takes them through the crocodile-infested Fawcett City and other places until Bruce makes it to the Fortress of Solitude, climbing the giant crystalline structure as Joker continues to ask if he's now Robin. Batman snaps at him, saying that he will never be Robin and wants to know who in this twisted world is left out there to be the good person a Robin needs to be. Batman collapses, thinking that if anyone was left he thought it would be Superman, but no one is there. Suddenly a rocket is thrown at him, and then soon after another two assault them, throwing Batman from the structure. As he begins to lose consciousness on the snowy ground, he sees Clark, who picks him up and tells him to rest since he has made it. Batman follows the bearded Clark into the fortress, demanding to know why Superman of all people is hiding under the ice and snow while the world falls apart. Clark merely shows him home, a giant open area under the ground that the Kent farm now resides on. Going inside, Batman wants to know what's wrong with Clark, but someone else answers, saying nothing is wrong. That someone else is Lex Luthor, who says that he's not the Superman he is looking for. Batman wants to know where Superman is, and Luthor says he's all around them. Heading to a barn, Luthor shows Batman the many Superman robots he has made, the bearded one being the last original Superman robot. He says that they are all organic, made from Kryptonian cells in order to bring back Superman. He shows Batman his lab, saying he spent years trying to figure out the math, but he finally made space-time wormholes possible, and thanks to Brainiac's crown, he can control it just long enough to pull baby Kal-El's rocket through from the past, bringing Superman back to life. Batman demands to know what Luthor did, and Luthor reveals that he launched no great attack or anything, but merely invited Superman to meet with him. He hoped Batman remembers what it was like meeting with Superman and being in his presence, like he's sculpted from light itself. He offers Superman one final battle, saying that he will quit fighting, dissolve the Legion, and much more if Superman has one last debate of good versus evil in front of the world. Superman wonders what trick he's pulling, sensing that the Kryptonian shards are under the ground that Luthor sunk. Luthor explains that the shards were a kind of sunstone that reacts to emotion, which was connected to every human on the world thanks to Starro, and it would be used as a voting tool of sorts, with Superman making his argument for good, Luthor for evil, and the world would choose. All the people would need to do is think justice or doom, and depending on the vote, the shards beneath them would either kill Superman or Luthor. Superman didn't want to do it, and neither did the Justice League, but Luthor made the offer public, forcing his hand, so Superman gave his speech, making even Luthor impressed. He knew Superman had won, but he found himself not humiliated, but graced by humanity. The ground beneath them trembled as the shards shot up, but instead of killing Lex like he thought they would, they killed Superman. Lex says that it was all a mistake and the people turned on them, killing all of the villains and heroes alike. He says that they even made another Batman to get control, but it didn't work and the world blew up. Lex says his plans never work, since when he tries to bring a rocket through to his time, the baby Kal-El inside is long dead, turned to ash and atoms. The robot Superman enters, suddenly smashing them out of the building, knocking them into the farmyard in front of Scarecrow and Bane. Lex wants to know what Scarecrow did to the robot, and Scarecrow says that he is a Scarecrow of wrath, like the old ones were, looking to bring ruin to Luthor's house. The infected Clark robot picks up Batman, but before he can snap him over his knee, Clark is stabbed and gutted by Wonder Woman. The robot continues to fight as Diana cuts off his arm and then his head before confronting Bane and Scarecrow. Scarecrow says that it's lucky he drugged them all, and soon the Superman robots from the barn arrive. Diana knows there are too many of them, and Batman needs to know about the portals Luthor can make with Brainiac's crown, since he wants him to open one. Diana tells him to open a portal in the eastern edge of the plains, and as he begins to open one, Diana says she will never forgive Lex for what he did to the world, but she will remember this one thing he has done for them. Lex hopes that she will tell him what he has done, as Batman and Wonder Woman are teleported out of the fortress, leaving Lex to be ripped apart by the Superman robots. Batman notes that the ground around them feels strange and learns that they are actually standing on the Spectre's cloak. Diana says that he fell when heaven and hell were consumed in the rage battle of the world, making his cloak a portal to where everyone lives now. Batman learns it leads them to the River of the Dead, where they find themselves on a boat. As they navigate the waters, Bruce asks if the Batman Luthor created is Omega, but Diana doesn't know, but it's possible he is someone Batman trained, and someone who Batman was once responsible for. Batman begins to hear the voices of the ones he was responsible for in the river, but he hears literally every hero he knows, whereas Diana only hears her sisters. Diana tells him not to go to them as Bruce sees Alfred, meaning that he is dead. He stops himself from going after him, telling Diana that she might be right, that the people don't want the world to go back to normal. Diana says that nothing is final and they must be who they are, regardless of whether they win or lose. Bruce wonders what happens if he just gets everyone killed again, and Diana says that he probably will do that, so Bruce demands to know why Diana is following him. Diana jokingly says it's because he held the door open for her one time. Soon they exit the underworld, and finally they arrive at their final destination, Gotham. Batman doesn't think this is Gotham, but Wonder Woman says that this is what the city is now, as Omega has everyone under control of the anti-life signal, which shines brightly in the sky. Diana wonders if Bruce has a plan, and he talks about one which he did in the past, which saw him sneak onto Paradise Island one time. Suddenly the two are ambushed by the Court of Owls, who sentence them to death, but Batman recognizes the leader's voice, telling them it's Bruce and he knows them. The Owls stop and their leader removes his mask, revealing himself to be Dick Grayson. Batman Last Night on Earth issue 2 was another amazing issue in this absolutely insane possible future for the DC universe. I loved everything about this issue and how it expanded the lore of this new world with cool things like the Spectre's cloak being a portal to the River of the Dead, and Luthor's offer to Superman and the Superman robots and Swamp Thing. It's all really cool stuff, and it makes me really want a book that details this type of world, and maybe we might even get one in the future at some point. Batman's continued quest for the truth with Joker is also lots of fun, and the cliffhanger ending with Dick makes me want to read the final issue right now, since no doubt it's going to be a doozy. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching my newest video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like to check out my other reviews here on my channel. You can also follow me on various social media platforms like Twitter by searching Matt_FOS, or even join the Comic Multiverse Discord server and chat with other comic book fans, including myself and Joel from Cape Joel. Want cheap comics and trades? Head over to the Book Depository with the link in the description to get the cheapest trades and comics around, along with free shipping anywhere in the world. Until next time, this has been Matt. Matt of the Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much for watching.